Protein. Who wants to learn more about it? There's a lot to choose from, lots of different ingredients. Stay with me and watch the whole entire video to get your mini educational lesson today. Why it's important. So there's a slew of different things why protein is very important for our bodies, and most of us don't get the adequate amount of protein from our foods, so we use supplements. The importance of protein in our bodies, and I'm just going to rattle them off real quick. We're not going to go and deep dive into everything, but protein helps with building and tissue repair. It helps with enzyme and hormone production. Pausing on that one. Obviously, muscle health and maintenance of your muscles, immune function. I'm going to pause right there too. Energy sources, transportation of certain nutrients within the body, fullness and weight management, hair, skin, nails, all the things. Okay. Another topic, how much do you need? Well, if you Google that, you're gonna find out all kinds of different things. Standard, 0.8 grams to 2.0 grams, 2.0 grams per pound of body weight. So it depends what your goal is. If you're looking for just standard getting more protein, I would say 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is ideal. When I'm training clients and they're looking for weight loss or muscle growth, it's going to be higher. So rule of thumb, in my opinion, is 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Okay? Seems like a lot, but if you're consuming the right portions of protein during the day, it's really not that difficult to get. You just have to think about it. Okay, so now we get into the different types of protein powders. So the first one is we're going to do the animal-based ones, and then I will get in touch on a little bit of the plant-based proteins. So the proteins that are out there that are animal-based, not vegetarian-based, are whey protein powders, whey protein isolate, and casein. All right, you've probably seen all these things and you're like, I don't know what the hell to take. So real quickly, whey protein comes from milk during like the cheese making process. That's the whey protein. It's fast digesting, it absorbs quickly by the body. It's a great post-workout recovery. It's best for muscle recovery and repair immediately after exercise, right? So this one is the standard typical whey protein that most people use. It's also more cost effective than some of the other ones as well. Whey protein isolate. This is further processed than the regular whey protein powder because it's removing more fats, carbs, and more of the lactose or the milk sugars. That's a whole nother video. There's a bit more protein in it, okay? And it's pretty much kind of milk free because they're removing some of the lactose from it. Whey, yes, whey is a milk product, but how they're making the isolate is they're getting rid of some of those milk solids, and it seems to work a little bit better for some people that have like dairy intolerance. It's not all, so consult your doctor before trying any of those. It's good for low carb diets. There's lower sugars in it, and it's a more pure protein, so it is going to be a little more expensive. All right, and then we have casein. Casein, again, it comes from whey protein. It is derived from milk, thus the word whey, but it's separated from a solid component. I'm trying to make this like more not so technical termies. Casein is great for at night because it is a slow release protein powder. So if your last meal or you're having a snack, casein protein is great to have before bed because it releases while you're sleeping. Okay, slow digestion, good for prolonged protein releases, helps support muscle recovery, prevent muscle breakdown overnight. Yes, if we're not, consuming enough protein, our muscles will break down. And it's, it's kind of on the higher end of the prices as well. And we'll get more into the cost of it towards the end of the video. So the main takeaways here are whey protein powder, balanced, everyday used, more cost effective. Isolate, ideal for people that have like a lactose intolerance or restriction, or you're looking for a leaner, low carb option. Casein, bedtime, nighttime, or whenever your sleep cycle is, if you work a night shift or something, for prolonged protein needs. Okay, moving on to the next clip. There's a lot of them. You have pea protein, soy protein, brown rice protein, hemp protein, pumpkin protein. Yeah, there's pumpkin seed protein now too. Never tried it. I don't know if you turn it into a pumpkin or not, but the taste will be significantly different. Okay, so keep that in mind. And no, I've only tried a few plant-based proteins and they do taste different. And if that's good with you, great, teach their own. All right, so pea protein, and we're going to get into this in another episode, is very high and rich in BCAA, which are branched chain amino acids for muscle recovery. All right, they contain all the 9 essential amino acids, low in one of them. The taste, again, if you Google it, it'll say mild and earthy. I think that's just a nice way of saying it doesn't really taste like dirt, but it has a hint of dirt to it. I'm just joking. If you like plant-based, that's fine. But when you're used to whey protein, it will taste different. It is easier to digest. Okay, it's more hypoallergenic and it's suitable for most people. Soy has a high complete protein and has all the essential amino acids. And let's see, what are my notes here? Slightly beany is how they describe soy. I kind of stay away from some soy things, so I don't know. Maybe it does taste more beany. I don't know if that means like kidney bean, black bean. I don't know what kind of bean, but that's the description of that. Soy protein is really good for those that have issues with other types of protein. But however, if you do have a soy intolerance, again, stay away from that one. All right, brown rice protein. Doesn't have all the amino acids. It's high in B vitamins and fiber. So there's that. Taste, mild, grainy. I mean, it's made out of rice, so there you go. So there's that. It's easy to digest. Most of the plant things are going to be easier to digest because they don't have the lactose compound to it. So there's that. Hemp protein, pretty good, moderate. Doesn't have all the amino acids. It's rich in omega-3s, fiber, and magnesium. All the things we menopausal women need. It has a nutty, and again, here comes that term, earthy. Okay. I've never tried hemp protein. I do take hemp seeds. I put that in my yogurt and my whey protein shakes. So it's a good fiber. It's easy to digest. It's high in fiber. But the hemp protein does have so much fiber in it, it could cause some stomach issues or, if people are sensitive to that. Pumpkin. I really don't know much about pumpkin seed protein. I've never even really seen it. So what I've found out about it, it is, well, this is probably why I don't see much of it. It's incomplete, like barely any of the essential amino acids. So I'm wondering why they call it a protein then. Maybe I need to look into that. It is rich or high in magnesium, zinc, and antioxidants. They say it tastes nutty, I guess, and that it's generally well tolerated digestibly. There is one other one. There's a blended protein powders where they kind of take different ones and put them together, like the pea, the rice, the hemp, and try to make the complete amino acid profile with that. So it's a little more balanced, versatile. I don't know what that taste would taste like. Maybe it could be like craziness going on in your mouth. Digestibility, has a better absorption rate and fewer side effects of like stomach issues. So I don't know, you'd have to pick and choose. And my ultimate thing for people that are trying new supplements that have been approved by your doctor is always go online and see if you can get a sample of them first, rather than investing the money for the big bulk container and then you're stuck if you don't like it. Okay, so always see if there's a sample or the smallest package available first. Or better yet, if you have family members that want to try it, you know, that's something you could work out too. Things to consider if you're choosing a plant-based protein: the quality. You probably should look at that one that's all blended together to get all the amino acid compounds, so you have the whole BCAA profile. Look at the dietary restrictions on the label. Again, you have to read the label. Taste and texture. The texture is going to be different with plant-based than whey. Okay. And then what's your intended reason for using the plant-based? All right. Dietary source, muscle growth, things like that. All right. Stay with me. We still have some more stuff to learn. Okay, so now we get into the ingredients of protein powders, and this is going to be combined for whey protein and plant-based proteins. When you look at the back, I don't even have anything here in front of me. When you look at the nutritional label, always remember less ingredients is best, and that's for anything across the board. If you're buying anything packaged, it is processed. Protein powder supplements are processed. They have to be put on the shelf to be able to sit there and be stable for a certain amount of time. All right. If they're not highly processed, they would be in a refrigerator somewhere. Remember that Ezekiel bread? Very little processing, but it has to be kept in the refrigerator so it doesn't go bad. So keep that in mind. It is not 100% natural. It can't be if they're going to leave it on the shelf. You're going to put it on your kitchen counter. Right? So this is a supplement. You're supposed to get most of your intake through food. Remember that. All right, so filler ingredients. A lot of times protein powders are going to have fillers. Cheaper the protein, the more fillers. Right off the bat, you get what you pay for with protein powders. Now, with that being said, there are some companies, and I'm not going to name any of those companies, but some of you will know what I'm talking about, that charge an obnoxious amount of money per month to be a member, to subscribe, to get it automatically delivered. I would tell you to do your research and compare that one to one you could go to a nutrition store and get. Okay? So do that. Before you invest in a monthly subscription to something that is pinching your budget, check elsewhere. All right? Always question. Always question. I think we live in a day and age where we're starting to question more. We need to question. Just don't take it at face value. Look into it. Do your research. You're all very smart. You have this beautiful brain, and we have this beautiful thing called the internet. Use it. All right. Filler ingredients. Maltodextrin, cheap carbohydrate. Gonna find that in a lot of food, processed food things. It adds volume to it. It helps it be mixable when you blend it or shake it up. And with it, it also acts as a quick energy source. But, I mean, it's just a filler, right? Artificial sweeteners, again, in everything. It's hard to get away from artificial sweeteners. And those things are going to be like sucralose, aspartame. And if you see aspartame on a label, throw it away or walk away from it. Get it out of sight. I don't even know why we still use that. And hopefully that's changing too. Saccharin, that's another one. Ugh. These are all added to enhance sweetness without adding calories. Okay. Thickeners and gums. You're going to look at the back of bars and cereals and, like, first of all, I shouldn't be eating cereal anyway, but that's another one. Things that have thickeners in them for consistency, like Xanthan gum. What the hell is zeaxanthin gum? Gar gum. Have you ever heard of that? Why are you eating it if you've never heard of it? Carrageenan. That one's been out in the news quite a bit. They're used to make the powder more appealing. They add no nutritional value. It's a chemical. Why do you want to put chemicals in your body? Okay. Hydrogenated oils or creamers. Again, we talked about hydrogenated oils before. Those are trans fatty acids. They're not out there in abundance anymore, but they're still out there. So if that's in your products, get rid of it. It gives it a creamier texture, but it has, again, unhealthy trans fats. Soy lecithin. So we have that soy word, and then we have the lecithin. This is used to have better mixability. So if you've ever tried a protein powder and you like shook it up and it's like chunky, it probably didn't have soy lecithin in it, because that's the one ingredient that makes it mixable. All right. Taurine or glycines, sometimes added to increase the protein content on the label. It's cheaper than the actual whey protein. All right, so read the label, read the label. Corn syrup solids, it's a sweetener, corn syrup. It's probably GMO'd because it's corn, right? Silicon dioxide. Isn't that little pack that makes it fresh? Yeah, well, it's also used as an anti-caking agent, so the powder doesn't stick to itself, okay? So it doesn't get all clumpy. And then flavoring ingredients, vanilla, cocoa, and synthetic versions. All right. So when we're looking at the ingredients, remember, if it's things that you read and you can't really pronounce it, or you're like, what the F is that? You probably shouldn't use that. Maybe you should put that back. All right. Okay. And then think again, like, why do I want to use this? If you're trying to use protein powders as a supplement to better your health, why would you choose one with chemicals in it? That's with any, like, if you're bettering your health, why are we putting chemicals into our body then? It's like redundant. You're not doing yourself any favors. Okay. So moving on a little bit, let's talk about what are some of the best types of protein. And just real quick, I'm not going to go into them. You can do your own research. It's a quick Google search, and then you can bring up the label on Google and see for yourself, and cost comparison. I have said for 20 some years, Isopure company makes a phenomenal protein powder. The unflavored is obviously going to have the lowest ingredients in it. It's mixable. It's very fine. When you would like scoop it out, it's very dusty. It's very fine. It is expensive, but there is less processing with it. There's one called Naked Grass-Fed Whey Protein Powder. Comes from grass-fed whey. What is whey again? Milk. So it's coming from a grass-fed cow. Okay, it's going to have better qualities to it. When they're unflavored, there's no artificial sweeteners or additives in it. All right, so there's that. So you'd probably have to add berries to it, or cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder, maybe some raw honey to it, those kind of things to flavor it up. Great to bake with, though, the unflavored ones. There's a couple other ones. Transparent Labs has 100%, again, grass-fed whey. Nutricross Whey Protein Isolate. You know, that it's non-GMO'd, it's gluten-free, it's all these compliances. Again, these are going to be more expensive, right? So do your research and choose what's best for you. So what it comes down to is, what are you using the protein supplement for? What are your dietary needs? Like, are you allergic to anything? What should I use, whey? Should I use plant? That kind of thing. How are you with texture and taste? That plays a big factor too. And then the number one thing will be your budget. You never should try to break the bank on anything. I mean, if you're trying to pay your rent, pay your car, feed your children, those things have to come first. Those things have to come first. Your health is very, very important. So I would put that at a higher level than a Starbucks, a coffee drink. That might be $7, okay? Some maybe bad habits that you need to change or change budgeting around. What can we do to, buy certain things that are healthier? That kind of thing. So it's really personal preference. I can't tell you how to choose that. That's, that would be wrong of me. That is on what you feel you're most comfortable with and what you're allowing to go into your body. All right, so cheaper proteins will definitely have more processing done, more chemical agents to it. Higher quality will be more expensive, but it'll have less chemicals. To me, it's like ass backwards. If you're not putting the things into it, why does it cost more? That's my question. When you're adding more chemicals, why is it cheaper? You're adding more things to this. So, things that make you go, Keep in mind, your body's only going to be able to process so much protein at a time. So if you think eating 60 plus grams of protein at one shot, yes, I'll have 60 grams at lunch and 60 grams at dinner, and then boom, 120 grams of protein, got it. You're going to be paying for that a little bit. Your guts are going to hurt. It might be running to the bathroom or not. And it's not going to be absorbing into your body the way that it needs to. It's going to be wasted. So you're kind of wasting your money. So ideally, I would stick between 25 to 40 grams of protein, in my opinion. Again, check with your doctor. Per meal. All right. So keep it simple. Check those ingredients. Check the pricing and do your research and shop around. You know what you can afford and you know what's best for your body, ultimately. As always, if you have health concerns or health conditions, I am not a doctor. I am just sharing information with you. Please do your research, do your due diligence, ask your PCP or whoever you see, and make sure it's right for you. All right. That's your mini education on protein powders. Next up, we will be doing, I think we'll start with creatine. Do the work, everybody.